All right, I want to pull in Yodit Tuwelde, of course. He's a defense attorney out of Dallas, also former prosecutor there. Yodit, when we look at these elections, we see, of course, millennials winning in Cairo, Georgia. The brother who won there, 27 years old. We see other folks winning other positions. We just saw the young brother winning in Birmingham. What we're seeing is folks who talk about running. You got to, if you want to step up, if you want to grab a baton, you got to run. Also, the impact of black women. Of course, the poll came out, the Black Women's Roundtable in Essence Magazine, showing a 10-point drop of black women identifying with the Democratic Party. The DNC better figure out real fast, you heard Tom Perez earlier, what they must do to make black women feel real good, because they don't win jack if black women don't turn out.
No, not at all. And, you know, I can only speak to the political climate here in Dallas because, of course, I pay attention to local elections. But when you talk about electing people, you have to make sure that, like you said earlier, policy, who is going to actually initiate these changes that you want to see. And so here, when I go to a judge who doesn't look like me or my client, then that's an issue sometimes, because in the sentencing portion of my case, that's problematic. And so what we do here is we push people to try and get elected. So we round up our support and you have somebody that we can back. And so here we have black women who are running for benches. We have them, and they're going to take these benches and they're going to make real significant changes. In
fact, Yodit, I'm showing a photo from Rebecca Aguilar from 3 days ago. Here you have, of course, you get a black woman who was appointed the district attorney, Republican there in Dallas when the previous DA resigned. You also have Shelley, go to my iPad, please. You also have Renee Hall, black woman who was the police chief in Dallas, and you also have Sheriff Lupe Valdez, Hispanic, who is the sheriff in Dallas County. Two of those positions are elected positions. So again, I think what we're going to see is we're going to see women play a huge role. The women's march, as well as Emily's list, said some 20,000 women have expressed interest in running for office when as a result of Trump and his comments, the sexual harassment comments, grabbing women by their vagina. Women are clearly pissed off, and when you make up a majority of the electorate, the last thing you want to see is a pissed off majority.
Absolutely. We just need to mobilize. We need to support these women that want to take on these tough positions, because we're lucky enough to have people who want to serve their communities. And so we need to back them and make sure that they get that opportunity so that we can actually see some real change. I'm excited, Roland. I'm so glad that you're covering this. This is something that we don't see on TV at all, ever. And I hope that whoever's watching your show is inspired to get more involved, or even themselves get involved and want to make that significant change, because you have to have a seat at the table. It's just that important.
Yodit, we appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Roland.
On set here, Michael Brown, Democratic strategist and former vice chair of the DNC Finance Committee, Greg Carr, chair of the Department of Afro-American Studies at Howard University. Again, when you look at these results, let's pull up the results in North Carolina, folks. When we look at these results, you see again momentum for a demoralized and depressed party for the Democratic Party. Let's go to the results in New Jersey, please. Of course, last night in New Jersey, big win there. Republican Governor Chris Christie, he is out. You, of course, have Phil Murphy, who beat the Republican Lieutenant Governor there in New Jersey, but also there, historic win on the lieutenant governor's race there. You have the first African-American who's lieutenant governor in New Jersey. Please pull it up. Sheila Oliver, she beats Carlos Rendo for New Jersey lieutenant governor. In Virginia, Justin Fairfax becomes the second African-American elected statewide in Virginia history. He beat State Senator Jill Vogel in that race. In Virginia, Michael, a Republican, first of all, you could only serve one term as governor because of the state Constitution. By him winning, he is going to be the presumptive Democratic nominee for governor in 4 years in Virginia. If he wins, he becomes only the third African-American elected governor since Reconstruction, behind Doug Wilder in Virginia and Deval Patrick in Massachusetts.
That's correct, and that's what it's all about.
And he's 36 years old. Yeah, plus, Greg, he's an alpha man. All right, go ahead. Sorry, Michael.
Sorry, brother.
All right, at any rate.
Somebody got to lead, brother.
Somebody got to
lead. That's all.
We had, you know, it's interesting, but that's part of what we were talking about earlier, is people feel motivated. They feel a pathway to success. They feel growth. And Justin Fairfax is a prime example of that. And he is going to be, and no matter what happens after he wins, assuming he wins governor in 4 years, he's going to be on the list in 2024.
That's right.
That's just what's going to happen.
That's right.
And that's part of what it's all about. And when you talk about, Roland, about how the Democratic Party is going to get folks motivated, when you see people that look like you on the ballot, you're more attracted to them to participate and vote. And I think that's what folks are going to count on.
Greg Carr.
Local, local, local. You've been saying it, brother. From Fannie Lou Hamer and the Democratic Mississippi Freedom Democrats in '64, they opened up the Democratic Party response to superdelegates, to Jesse Jackson Rainbow, which then busts open and redoes the rules. It starts locally. A quarter of the Virginia population live in the northern Virginia suburbs. Stop looking at red states and red counties and blue counties and look at where the people live. Keisha Lance Bottoms can win that election. We all remember the matchup between Norwood and Kasim Reed 8 years ago, where Reed squeaked by. But you got to grow the base, which means you've got to attract these people who've never voted before. But it starts, as you've been saying over and over again this morning and all along, at the local level.
Also means that you've got to have folks who are running for office who are going to build constituencies. It's not a question of simply depending upon older African-American voters or older voters to win. You have to also compete when it comes to millennial voters as well.
Weekdays on TV One.
I will never lie to you.
Oh my God.
Roland Martin.
He doesn't want to talk to us. He wants to ignore us.
Uncensored.
Hell no.
That ain't gonna cut it, boo.
Unapologetic.
No, that is fundamentally false. You are wrong.
Unfiltered.
He wants an America where we all look alike. He ain't talking about black people.
Unrelenting.
You better go work out, because you got a fight on your hands.
NewsOne Now with Roland Martin. Weekdays at 7 a.m. on TV One.